Yeah, hi, it's Harpreet Singh from Western Singh Law Firm. Today I want to talk about pay periods. So, what are the rules surrounding pay periods, and what are the default rules, and what would be the violation if you don't follow those rules? So, pay period you have thought about mostly you see bi-weekly payments. In some industry there are weekly payments, and then in few of the industry very few monthly payments. So your payday is after every month or every 14 days or every 7 days. So those are the basic structure how an employer pays you, but there are some default rules surrounding that. And I'm talking about California law, so it would not be applicable for some other state because I know means down the internet probably someone is viewing from some other state, but I'm talking about California law. So in terms of means you can structure bi-weekly, monthly means at max. So in terms of overtime, so the wages for overtime must be paid by the payday for the next payroll period. So probably you would be thinking about, okay, I have not heard about it. Okay, for example, your pay period is on October 1st. So if you have not received your overtime payment on October 1st, and usually it would not happen, but still just think about it happen, you just received your regular pay overtime, probably employer doesn't have the money sometimes, means especially in these times, employer doesn't have the money. So October 1st, you didn't receive your overtime payment with the regular payment. So the last day for the employer to pay that payment is October 14, the next pay period. If October 14 is the next pay period, if you're bi-weekly. So that's the last time, that's the deadline for the employer to pay your overtime payment. Otherwise, it's a violation and you can file a suit. Obviously, a suit would be for some more overtime payment, and not if you're talking about like $100. You can file it obviously with a labor commissioner. Um, so that's the basic rule for an overtime. And so the wages also must be paid within 7 calendar days from the end of the period. So I'm now talking about the general wages. So these are the default rules under the labor code, that 7 days is the time that you have to pay the wages. And the next, there are different industry rules which comes in, because different industries, as we have previously talked about in the previous video, how that framework work, different industry wage orders and all those kind of things. So different industry work differently. Some industry you are in office work, probably you are going bi-weekly, and in farming work weekly. There are some basic rules about that, but you can structure in different way. But still you have to meet those basic minimum rules. You can pay every day, that's fine, but that would be too much work for the employer. So in terms of if you are a farm labor contractor, so the employees of a farm labor contractor must be paid every week on the designated payday. If you have, suppose Friday as your designated payday, then every Friday you have to pay. If you're a farm labor contractor, if you have employee under you, so obviously Central Valley, you're big on farm, and so the farm labor contractor need to follow that. So if you are talking about any housekeeping, domestic service, if you hired someone for like caregivers or person cleaning who are regular on, I think on their schedule, so you have to pay them at least, I think every 31 days. That's the bare minimum. You can pay them bi-weekly, and usually people pay them bi-weekly, but for that industry it's 31 days, every 31 days at least one pay, I think payday there needs to be. So for vehicle dealership who are usually on commission, especially you're talking about salesperson, car salesperson, so that I think employer need to pay once per month. So they're also minimum, I think that's their deadline, that every month they need to be paid. Means you cannot structure them every quarter. So that's the basic rule for that industry. If you're talking about temporary service employers like a security company who hire security guards on like temporary basis, because if there is event in the whole month, you have like 3-4 events, so mostly these security guards sometime are on different schedules. So in that industry they must be paid weekly. That's the minimum requirement from the labor code. So if you are talking about all those industry, if you meet those minimum requirement, if you, yeah, I think other than the I think the labor, the farm labor industry, you are, I think if you are paying bi-weekly, then you are good with the law. However, how about a situation? I mean, sometimes there can be a situation, and it happened with heavily employer, because your sometime your if your payday is coming, if your payday is restructured, usually paydays on Fridays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So if there is a glitch in that, sometimes there is a glitch, and your payday is coming on, suppose, especially if you are on every 15 days, you are structured your payday as like on 1st and 30th. You have specific dates, because usually it's structured on the day, either it's Friday, mostly on weekdays. But if it's coming on weekends, if it's coming on Sunday, or a holiday, obviously you would not be able to get a check or a direct deposit on that day. So the next business day would be considered as your payday. So the law allows, obviously, with that thing in mind, a difficulty which you can come across if you have structured in some weird way that your next payday, your next business day, what would be Monday, or whenever your holiday, if it's on Monday, then Tuesday. So you can provide the payday, still you would not be in violation. So these were, I think, some basic rules surrounding the pay periods. In the next videos, I will talk about your basic topics about employment law, overtime, meal rest periods, and also several rules surrounding those. Thanks again for watching these videos, and see you in the next video. Thank you.